Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Loreweek. Hopefully today is finding you all well. We don't have a lot of news today, which is why I don't even have the news thing up, the current topics there. No reason to, really. Just a few quickies. Thought about skipping, but, I mean, that would be against policy. People would be like, where's Loreweek? And I'd be like, well, it died like my soul, my blackened heart. Edge. Steam sale's up until tomorrow, I think. Something like that. So, I always like to put news at the beginning. My news, I mean. Some of you are probably wondering where the heck we're at. So, first of all, World of Warcraft, obviously. Part of the reason I was late this morning is I was working on exactly that. I was hoping to actually finish the editing for the audio of the final episode of Pandaria. And that's pretty much where we're at with that. By the end of today, I will be done with all of the editing of all of the audio of all of the episodes of Pandaria. So that means, for those of you not aware of the process, that means tomorrow I'm going to have to sit down and, well, basically tomorrow through the rest of the week, I'm going to have to sit down and capture footage, and then I have to edit footage in. Capturing footage is by far the time consumer. That's going to be the biggest, thing that's going to slow that down. But I am extremely certain, given the fact that I've already done with most of the creative side of things, which is the scripting and polishing and finalizing the script, and then the voice acting, that I will be able to finish Pandaria this week. Then I'll start working on Warlords. I've actually already done some of the sketching out of Warlords. And Von Falkenstein. Now, Von Falkenstein was one of the harder ones to sketch out, because he's just so sketchy in general. And when you're trying to sketch a sketchy person, it doesn't work the same way. One moment, please. And thank you for the sub. Ever and always. Sorry, I probably sound a little bit tired, and that's because I am. I didn't get to bed until 3 last night. I'm just having issues sleeping. That's all that is. I've basically been having issues ever since the 2 weeks of sick, and I think I'm going to finally just pull the trigger and start drugging myself down with ZQuil every night in order to force myself back in a normal schedule, because this is stupid. Anyways. Also, lol, Dakota. By the way, happy belated birthday, Emperor Valerian. I do hope you had a good one. You did have a good one, right? Okay, cool. So that means you haven't checked it out yet, Valerian. I knew it. Anyways, so that's where we're at with the World of Warcraft series. That's actually all the news I've got on that. I'm really happy with how Pandaria has been going, though, if I might be so bold. It's reminded me of why I loved WoW back in the day. Pandaria was an exceptionally well-crafted and tightly designed script, and was just awesome. It was awesome going through it. But anyways, and of course I guess I should mention that. This is kind of implied, but to state this clearly, I am done with the Cataclysm. We're done with that. I'm well into working on Pandaria now. I have been since Thursday. Thursday is when I finished the final Cataclysm video. You might be wondering, how many videos are these at this point? That I'm going to have to look up, because I don't know off the top of my head. But the final Pandaria video will be episode 73, to give you a bit of perspective. I was actually thinking about it. I think I'll be able to upload all of these and schedule all these once I'm done with them, but it'll be close, because that whole you can only go 2 years in advance thing. Frickin' YouTube. Anyways. Enough about that. Where's my notes? Where's my other notes? So, I just have a couple of quick little things to share here. I have no idea what I'm up to on YouTube, Medoro. I'll figure it out at some point. Thank you, Ciela. very much as always. I'll put that towards the Bard's Tale in just a moment, because that document's over here. There we go. I think Blade's Edge Mountains just went live. Pretty sure. I have no idea which episode that is. Am I going to be streaming on Twitch soon? Nope. Although that is a good time to talk about that, so good question, Pika. Next week, 1 week from today, which is July 4th, we will start restreaming SGDQ 2021. I have to admit, something about that really wigs me out, the fact that we're already at the point of SGDQ. So for those of you curious, we will have Loreweek, as usual, next week, and we will not have the Streaminations, because we will switch over to restreaming GDQ. So that's normal policy, but for those of you who haven't been around while we've restreamed GDQ, that's what we do. And that'll be all week. All of next week will be that marathon. And that's awesome, but that's... I will be working, at that point, hopefully I'll be working on Legion. No, I'm wrong. At that point, I'll be working on Warlords. My bad. Anyways, thank you very much, Ginger Overseer. As always, appreciate. Yeah, I know, right, FN Craig? It's like, God, this just snuck up on me. No, it totally is, Ashlam. I mean, we're in July, or we're about to be in July. What the hell happened to this year? Anyways. So, real quick couple of things here. First of all, I gotta tell you a story about a bush. Now, anybody who... Well, there'll be one today, Darth Medora, but otherwise, yes. Any of you who have ever actually had to... I don't know, Venters. Anybody of you who have actually ever had to remove a bush, like physically remove a bush, knows just how much that sucks. Because bush roots are terrifying, and they spread out all over the place, and they're thick, and they're just... It's just aggravating dealing with a bush, right? Now... no, Pika. Now, having said that, this is going to sound like the dumbest things I've ever actually been proud of. 2 weeks ago, no, I actually meant to say this last week, but I got distracted because last week was the E3 roundup. 2 weeks ago, I was dealing with Shadow Machine, and Shadow Machine was so entrenched, his roots were so deep, that I wasn't even budging it. And I want to be clear about this. This bush was not moving. Like, I would get in there, and had the shovel. I was using a shovel at this point, because hands just weren't doing it. And I was trying to tilt the bush, and it was not budging so much as 1 centimeter. That's how much it was entrenched, and I'm like, okay. Now, thank you, Shadow Machine, very much. Especially for 4 years of support. Very, very, very much obliged. Thank you. I'll put that anniversary sub towards Soul Silver. If I can spell. So I'm dealing with this thing, and I actually get a crowbar. Quick anecdote. How many of you have actually handled a crowbar? I mean, I have before, but I had forgotten the fact that crowbars are actually really hefty. Like there's a surprising weight to the damn things, which I tend to forget. And it's funny because crowbars are always like the default weapon in video games, right? But probably ever since Half-Life. But I mean, it's like... Anyways, big old sucker. Anyways, thank you, Silence. I am glad you like, as always. If you know what you want to put that towards, please let me know. Yeah, much respect to Gordon Freeman. Anyways, I get a crowbar in there because I was getting to the point where I was threatening to snap the shovel in half. And I'm like, all right, flunk. And then, still not moving. Now, I'm going to speed up this story a little bit. I spent the better part of 2 hours working on this bush. Now, I want to be clear about this. It depends on what you want to put it towards, Silence. Specifically. Now, I want to be clear about this. When I say 2 hours, I don't mean, you work on it a bit, and then you roam off, and you go do this thing, and then you work on it a bit, and you get a donation from someone it hasn't gone through yet. Still not seeing it. Why is there no notification going through? Anyways, I'll figure that out in a second. What I mean is 2 hours solid, non-stop effort on this freaking bush. Now, I started thinking about a lot of different ways to deal with this thing, and indeed tried quite a few different methods as I was trying to dig through this sucker. But the long and the short of it, let me go ahead and summarize here. Yes, Metroid 5 is an option. Metroid Dread is an option. The summary here is I did actually get this bush out. And you're probably thinking, okay, whoop-de-doo, congrats, Lore. Prior to excavating that bush, my sister and I were having a rather extended, long conversation. Thank you, Swerby, very much. I'll put that towards Bug Fables. An extended and lengthy conversation about moving. Now, some of you may or may not be aware of the fact that here in the United States, the housing market is... it's bad. The price of housing is skyrocketing. A friend of mine bought a house just last year. It has gone up $45,000 in value since then. That is not an exaggeration. In fact, that might be out of date at this point. It might have gone up even further since then. The housing market is being stupid right now. Thank you, Jesse's Mask. I'll put that towards Crusader Kings 3. So, now I'm not going to bore you with the economic reasons why this is happening. The long and the short of it is speculators have started moving into the market to try and make money off of it, supported by relatively cheap bank loans, which are being funded by the federal government as an attempt to try and make it so that people can afford housing. Let me say that again, in case you missed that. As one of the methods the federal government has been using in order to try and ensure that people can keep having places to live, the price of living in places has been skyrocketing. But yeah, speculators are the big problem here. Interest groups and corporations are buying up huge plots of land and renting them at a profit. And when I say buying up lands, I'm talking there are people who would get offers for $30K plus up front just to buy the house immediately. So this sucks, obviously. This sucks for everyone, basically. But it also sucks for me, because for those of you not aware, I've been looking to and looking into buying a house for the better part of about 2 years now. I was pretty much getting ready to do it effectively by next year. That was the goal. So, getting back to the point here, Sis and I are discussing that. I believe you, Valerian. I really do. I've seen some houses that are just... they're not worth it at all. I mean, granted, I don't think a house is worth 300 grand. That's just my professional economic opinion. But I've seen houses that are worse than, like, the apartment I am currently living in. Which, granted, it's not exactly a bad apartment, but, you know, that are worse than the apartment I live in, that are going for the $600,000 to $700,000 range. Thank you, little Billy. As always, I'll put that towards Steins Gate. I'm not ignoring you, by the way, Mr. Ed. I want to get this story out before I readdress to that. That's going to take a minute. And I don't want to lose my train of thought. So enough whining. First world problems. Oh no, Laura can't afford a house. Whatever. The reason I bring this up, though, is because this depressed the ever-living crap out of me. Like, this is... I was finally getting ready and getting into the position. I have, had the capital ready to go. I had the loan lined up. I've already talked with my bank. I am super ready to do that Zactap, but probably not for another 3 or 4 weeks. I was like, yes, it's going to be great. And I can't. Like, I physically can't. If I won the lottery, I might be able to buy a house. And so, yeah, this is something I was not super happy about. And if I might be so bold, part of what bothered me so much about it was because it made me feel powerless. Because I can't do anything about it. Because I can't succeed. I am, by definition, a failure in this matter. Now, you could argue that, but I don't want to hear the argument. The point is, I felt like an absolute failure. Then there's this bush. Now, believe it or not, this is a positivity comment, because I did it. I did actually dig that goddamn bush out of there. And as I mentioned earlier, anybody who knows digging a bush out is not an easy task. And it wasn't even like a singular thing. I actually really went to town on this thing. I had to get down there with a saw. First, I actually took a chainsaw to the majority of the surface level in order to be able to access the roots better. Got in there with little shovels and the crowbar. Managed to dig out managed to snip some of the roots in order to remove them. Because, by the way, I haven't even mentioned this yet. It was digging. So there's a chunk of concrete, which is a pathway. And the roots were going under this thing, and the bush is right up against this. And in case you don't understand why that's so significant, that meant that there were two angles I couldn't even approach on this bush. I could only ever get it from the east or the south. Because the other side was just concrete. There was nothing I could do on that end. I could not get in between the concrete and the bush. And I still did it. So that was a little bit of a morale booster, is what I'm trying to say. Thank you, Von Bacon Eater, very much. Much obliged and appreciate, thank you. Especially since I didn't think I could do it, to be completely blunt, because I have dealt with bushes before. I know exactly how to... One of the last bushes, I think I mentioned this, one of the last bushes we tore up for my sister, we actually did the chain plus truck method, for those of you familiar with that. But I'm not done with positivity. Check this out. Although, actually, I probably should have led with the negativity. I apologize. Sorry, it was bush story. Cool. Let's switch to negativity really quick. Some of you may or may not know that we've done an Earthbound lore run. I hope you enjoyed watching it because you can't anymore. Because that has been copyright blocked in, I think, 268 countries on music grounds. Because music license labels are evil. And you know what irritates me the most about that? I was thinking about that when I looked at that. It's like, you know, music license labels have been evil for literally decades. Like, actually evil. Even if they weren't getting in the way of my job on a basically daily basis, I would still be pissed off by this kind of crap, you know? So anyways, Earthbound lore run is gone. Yay. Moving on. Hang on, I got another one. Disney is trying to copy wrong Loki. Now, I want to be clear. Loki, the character from the MCU, yeah, no, that makes sense. They do own the copyrights to that character, because that's how that works. They're trying to copy wrong Loki, the concept, the word, the appearance. Yeah, it's just... What? You don't get to do that. Now, it's worth noting that this is actually a bit of an ongoing thing. No one has successfully pushed against Disney yet, and Disney has not yet managed to take down anyone big on this matter. But there is an ongoing brewing there, which will probably lead to an actual legal battle at some point. Unless Disney backs down, which they might. Now, you say they can't, Darth Medora, but that's actually not how that works, as much as I hate to say that, because they can copyright whatever they want to. The catch is someone has to contest that, and then that has to go to the courts, and then the courts will decide if they can do that or they can't do that. Because that's how that works. And that's why I'm curious. Yeah, no kidding, Valerian. That's why I'm curious if anybody's going to actually push against Disney in a legal matter, because it's Disney. And pushing against Disney in a legal matter is something that's basically just sinking money. So, that sucks. Hang on, I got one more negativity. This is a much more personal thing. This is so stupid. Oh, absolutely, FN Craig. But again, it's worth noting, and I want to make this clear, that precedent already exists. Remember, you can copyright whatever, but you have to be able to defend that in court, right? That has to be able to hold up in front of a judge and possibly a jury, depending on the style of trial you go to. So, yeah. It's also worth noting, and I always need to mention this because a lot of people tend to forget this, one courtroom trial is usually not enough for these kind of legal battles. Because there's the first trial, then there's the repeal, and then there's this, and they can also kick it up, and then they can kick it up again, and then they can kick it up again. And the long and the short of this is there's a reason corporate legal battles tend to last years. We'll see what happens. Yay. Hang on. So, more personal negative story. Some of you may or may not be aware of the fact that HOAs are horrible. I'm being exaggerative. I'm sure there is such a thing as a good HOA. I've never encountered one. Now, the current HOA that my sister has to deal with is the best HOA I've ever encountered. This is the same HOA that did not allow her to have her garden, if you remember, because that's for poor people. Somewhat recently, there was a large-scale storm that took through the area. Some of you may remember this. This was like 2 weeks ago, I guess, 3 weeks ago, something like that. And this storm left a bit of storm debris, you know, twigs, leaves, that kind of thing. And a few... Their HOA has someone who goes around in the morning and just kind of investigates the neighborhood. And they actually find a few of the houses for having storm debris in their front lawn and their front driveway first thing in the morning from a storm that happened the previous night. Anyways... Listen, all I'm saying is HOAs are, I don't want to say they're the worst, because that's such an exaggeration. But they suck. That's actually a pretty complex topic, believe it or not, Venters. But generally speaking, unless you know exactly what you're doing and have some either political or financial weight at your back, if you move into an area with an HOA, you're joining that HOA whether you want to or not. Because the HOAs usually have legal rights with regards to the city, which they can enforce by contacting the city council and yada yada yada. HOAs can go to hell is what I'm trying to say. Anyways. Now, let's see. Actual news. I don't really have any actual news. I mean, I could mention, for example, the fact that the EU is trying to push an antitrust suit against Google. But the thing is, they've just barely started that, and who knows where that's going to go. So that's not really a news tidbit. That's more of like a teaser of something that might eventually become news. There's the Avengers game, which showed people's IP while they were playing. I actually did look into this particular story. It's worse than it sounds. Because the more you dig into it, the more you find out that not only was this a bug, but it's a bug that should have never happened. And it's the kind of thing that they knew about and were tracking well before they warned people, and well before they actually fixed it. Also, as an aside, I have got to say, what kind of bug is that? How do you accidentally display text on a screen in the middle of a video game? Like, that's not something that just kind of happens. You know? It's not just, whoops! Someone has to go in and be like, okay, here, this goes here, probably Pika. And this goes here, and this is going to come here, and it's going to display here. Like, that's a deliberate kind of a thing. Not an accidental kind of a thing. Well, I mean, I'd have to mute it, Mr. Red. That is the option right now. I would have to mute the VOD, so you could watch me, so it would look like this. Oh, sorry, no, I've got music going. Hang on. Sorry, it would look like this. And that would be the low run. Thank you, Diesel Edge. Very much, as always. If you happen to know where you want to put that, please let me know. Oh, you already did? You lie. But I believe you. I didn't even see yours, Lord Hermon. So, I'm not getting notifications of donations, which is strange. It happened earlier with Mr. Red. No. I don't know how to fix this. I'd actually had this I've had this happen before, and I don't remember what I did to fix it. Well, first I'll say thank you, Lord Hermon, very much. Always appreciate, sir. I shall put that towards Metroid. It's not Metroid. Wow. Pokemon, etc. I'm going to push that toward Metroid just because of you. I think I bought 2 games this summer, and all of them were for games we're reviewing eventually. I like that lore run too. It's gone. Yeah. That's actually an interesting question. What are the 268 countries? Give me a second here. Is there a country that can watch that stupid thing? Hang on. What do we got? What do we got? I'm trying to remember where. It's in a weird spot for some reason. Like, they don't put your things in a way. Ah, God, I hate YouTube's setup so much. Let's do it this way. No, unlisting it doesn't fix it, Ashlam. Deleting it would fix it, kind of. Here we go, here we go. Okay, so... Oh, no, it's right here. I'm staring at it right now, Lord Hermon. I can start playing it right now, but it is blocked. And I'm trying to find the page. I hate this thing so much. See details on the copyright. Here we go. Okay. 82% of my audience cannot watch this video. Here we go. Let's see. It is blocked in 248 countries. Oh my God, they actually list them. It is blocked in the United Kingdom and Hong Kong and Albania and Austria and Western Sahara and Madagascar and South Africa and Denmark and the Grenadines and Cuba. I'm not listing all these. I don't know which country it is not blocked in. It doesn't tell me the not blocked. No, I already fixed that. I already opted out of that. FM Craig. Listen, Russia's on the list. Guatemala, Norway, Namibia, Panama, Israel, Australia, the Central African Republic, the Cayman Isles, Uruguay. Is Greece? Hang on, is Greece on the list? Greece. There it is, Greece. Jordan, Andorra, Liberia, Ethiopia, Ecuador. Oh, the United States. God. Taiwan, hang on. Taiwan is on the list, as well as Hong Kong. China's on the list, too. Because they're separate countries. The Caribbean Netherlands. Brazil? Yeah, probably. Hang on, Brazil. Yep, there's Brazil. What's really funny about this, if I could just add something here. So what they actually do is they pull out specific songs and say, these songs are the copyrighted material, and because by virtue of the fact that this song happens to be playing in the background while you're talking and playing a video game, I not only own all rights to this video, but I refuse for anybody to ever see it, and it's blocked in a worldwide status, and it's like, okay, that's cool. I just wanted to rehash that because it's important to remember how insane that is, and it's important to remember how insane that is. But hang on, I got another thing here. One of the songs, I mean, there's a lot of songs. The Jungle Music, the Underworld song, the Onett song, the Winters song, the Scarava song. But my personal favorite is they actually decided to block the video by virtue of the fact that the Dungeon Man song was in the video. Now, forgive me, but this needs to be clarified. So, for those of you who know what's about to happen, please feel free to mute me. But this is the Dungeon Man song. They decided that that music was sufficiently important to block worldwide because they owned it, and that was important enough to them to block that video. I want you to really think about that. Oh my gosh. Anyways, who owns it? Oh, some random company I've never heard of. Some Japanese company. It is a music license label. I looked it up. I don't remember what they're called right now. No, this is the actual license label doing it, Imperial Star Destroyer. If it's some random jackass, I fight those immediately and always win because it's some random jackass. But they're making tons of money off of the fact that they have blocked my video, I guarantee. Whoever these people are. I'm pulling up the name right now. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's a Japanese name. They're making so much money off of selling the Dungeon Man song. Is Stardew Valley worth playing? Yes. You know what it really amuses me most? If I could just get real for just 1 second. What amuses me most is the people who defend this practice. Oh, well, you're making money off of something someone else made. Therefore, you shouldn't, and they have every right to block your content. I don't even know where to begin to explain how immensely and monstrously stupid of an idea that is. Hang on. I didn't make this code. Or this outfit, for that matter. I didn't even make this computer. Oh my god. Or the lights. Or the electricity I'm using. It's so stupid. And you're probably thinking, well, wait, Lore, that's a facetious argument. Because you paid for those things. Yeah, I did. Just like I paid for the game. Which is right there. I'm not going to pick it up. I just wanted to make sure it was there. All that the sun touches is our domain. That's true, Action Man. You have every right to shut me down because I don't own that message that you just put onto the VOD, which is now visible here. Anyways, I can't. My brain just breaks at that. In an ideal world, you know, the music license label would be like, hang on, we're gonna block this because we own the rights to distribute the music that you happen to have in the background during a game you're playing while discussing it. And then someone just shows up, just like that. Kiryu shows up at their front door and beats the stupid out of them. And because it's Kiryu, they actually do get smarter. They're like, you're right. We have seen the error of our ways. We're so sorry, Kiryu-san. And then they get better. Because that's how that would work in Yakuza. Yes, they're all Ferengi. I can't even do it. You're right. I need to get naked during my streams in order to be able to. Except then I would still have my background, you know. And then Kiryu takes the guy out for karaoke. Dame, do 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 do. I don't know the actual lyrics. Oh, I need a hot tub, right? I can't be nude without a hot tub. Duh. So I'll be like, all right, stretched out on the hot tub here. Oh, that's a good point. I got my genes from my parents. I don't own my body. Okay, that sounds like a joke. I've seen a lot of dystopian fiction that addresses the idea that you don't own your body. That you don't own the rights to yourself. And I should probably mention that real-life history has had that as a concept more than a few times, so... Anyways, now that we have completely just spiraled down the drain of nightmarish hellscape, why don't we have a little bit of positivity? So we're gonna chop off the Loreweek real quick here, and switch over to some streaminations and try to get a little bit of positivity in today.